Alright, I've got your rod wrapper all ready to go here, and I was going to show you real quick how you put the chuck on. You'll notice there's two threaded holes on it. You only need to use one side. I went ahead and threaded both sides in case the one side strips out at some point. You could just put the screw in the other hole and continue using it. If you don't over tighten it, it shouldn't be a problem, but the shaft, the mount part, is made out of aluminum and it could strip out if you over tighten it. So I just went ahead and threaded both sides, but you'll notice there's a flat side on the motor. You'll want to put the side with the screw on it on that flat side and tighten that screw down on the flat side of the shaft of the motor. That'll lock the adapter onto the motor shaft so you can go ahead and start using it once you get that put on there. It's real easy to adjust the height of this if you need to move it up or down, and just try to center the motor shaft up onto the center line of the rod itself. If you need to ever tighten these, just tighten the wing nuts on the side. To adjust the amount of slippage on the chuck, you can tighten or loosen the wing nut that's right behind the baby bottle chuck. When you loosen it, it'll let the baby bottle spin on the shaft, and there'll be a little wobble if you get it really loose. There'll be a little wobble, but it doesn't matter too much because the rubber nipple moves so much. It's got a lot of flexibility, so it doesn't have to be perfectly aligned. It doesn't have to be really tight on the shaft itself in order for everything to work the way it's supposed to. I'd recommend, if you're wrapping, to go ahead and tighten the nut all the way up. That way the baby bottle can't slip as you're doing your wraps. In order to hook this up, there's a power adapter that's mounted onto the base of the unit, and that power adapter, it has its own cord, and everything's tied together and held in place with some nylon straps that are screwed to the base. The controller cord comes out of the front side, and it's in its own separate box. In order to hook this up, I'm just going to use a regular extension cord. You can use whatever extension cord you have if you need one. If you're close to a power outlet, you won't need one, but if you're quite a ways away, you'll want some sort of extension cord. Just go ahead and hook that up, and then you can power the unit on. You'll notice the controller board has a rocker switch on the left. The single dash puts the motor in clockwise rotation. As you can see here, it's spinning clockwise. You can speed it up or slow it down with the potentiometer that's mounted on the right side. Just turn it to the right to speed it up, turn it to the left to slow it down. And it will get pretty slow, but I would not recommend using this as a rod dryer because at its slower speeds, it's real easy to stall the motor, and you don't want it to stall and come back to one that hasn't been turning when you expected it to be drying. I'd recommend still using a separate rod dryer with this setup. When you flip the switch to the two lines, it puts it in counterclockwise rotation, so you can go forward or backwards depending on what you're wanting to do here, and speed it up or slow it down as necessary. There's also a little LED light that you'll see come on. It gets brighter as the speed is increased. Now I don't have the switch flipped here, so it's not moving, but if you flip the switch on and you increase the power output, the light will get brighter. You can also start and stop this at any speed you want to. Sometimes it won't start at the very slowest speeds though. I think that's about it. If you got any questions about anything, just let me know and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Thanks for taking a look, and be sure to let me know if you have any questions.